Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's the TikTok star himself in the flesh right here, renegading up a storm. How's everybody doing? This is the actual, I believe this is episode 6. Now, last time, episode 26. I said it the last time that it was episode 26, but it really wasn't. I was lying to you. But this time, it should really be episode 26. So basically, we ran up 26 twice, you know? So
you a little boy to me. I'll kiss you on your forehead. You a little boy.
So, guys, what's going on? I'm happy to be back. We're chilling right now. I got the robe on. We're obviously getting it fired up. I have an amazing guest today. It's like my Yoda, basically like one of my biggest role models with music, with being a good person, with whatever you want to call it. I've known him for a while now. We've worked together for so long. You've heard his work on my stuff, but probably on other stuff as well, because he's awesome and super, super well respected in the industry. He's worked with like Demi Lovato, Beyonce, Dolly Parton, Brandy, and many more. He's a beast, and I love him as a person. He's like legit. Aside from, you know, the whole songwriter thing, all that, we're just really great friends that love working together. So that's what makes it so fun. And he used to be out like in LA. We knew him when he was there, and then he moved to Nashville, and I see him all the time now because this is who I go to Nashville to see, and he's just awesome. He's an amazing soul, an amazing creative, and I respect him so, so immensely, and so I'm going to call him up here pretty soon, but yeah, I mean, this is going to be fun just because, frankly, we both align in a lot of ways in the way that we think, both inside and outside of music, and his DQ has shaped me as a songwriter, and I remember meeting him for the first time and just connecting. And so it's with me, like, him and I are really great, like, friends, but just great collaborators as well. So that's why it's always interesting to see him. He's always like dropping knowledge. I'm sure I'm gonna hit a few bombs because he does drop knowledge. He knows what he's talking about, and I just respect him in many, many, many ways. And so it's funny that we're doing this because it's like very rarely does he ever really pop out, to be honest, like as far as he's on social media and stuff, but he's very, very, I see him as like the character that's like in a cave rocking it out, like very Yoda style. And so for him to pop out and do this, I just think it's super cool. So yeah, so I'm gonna call him right now and we're gonna get this underway. So let's do this. Yo, what's up, bro? How you doing? Welcome to Robetalk, dude.
Thanks for having me. How you doing?
You look good. You got the SM7. We got the same mic.
You know.
You already know. This is the dude who made me buy it, people. This is the dude who got me on the SM7 train right here. So without him,
look, if it works, it works. Right?
He's responsible for a lot of the purchases that I've made, both in music and in Nintendo Switch and in whatever it is. He influences me greatly in my Amazon and in many other ways.
You're welcome.
So how you doing, bro? How's it going?
I'm good, man. You know, living up this quarantine life.
I feel you. And DQ has 2 beautiful, amazing daughters that call me Mr. Alex, and they're the cutest little people in the world. Some of the most like well-behaved and also just fun to be around little kids, because I'm not crazy about little kids, but when I see them, I'm pumped. There you go.
They have that effect on people.
I know.
Mr. Alex. I'm like, Mr. Alex, Mr. Alex.
For sure. So, dude, you spoke about how you're living the quarantine life. How is it going? Like, what are you doing these days that you have so much more time?
Honestly, taking probably the first time in my life that the world slowed down, and I mean, everything's crazy for everybody. So it's like, control what you can control, and the one thing I can control right now is being a present and, as best to my ability, father to these girls as possible. Like, that's it for me. Creativity comes in ebb and flows and all of that, but it's like, this time I've been given a gift that I literally will probably never get back again.
Right.
So I just kind of embracing them and seeing what they've been interested in. And I mean, they've been wanting to come up into the studio and all sorts of different things. So it's just been fun getting to know just them, like just really them. So that's been the main focus. And that to me is, if they can come out of this as hopefully this is a fun time for them, then everything else is a win. So yeah, that's been my last 2 months, and just figuring out the next plots of how to take over the world, right?
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. We were talking about this not too long ago on the phone, and it's always great just to kind of check in with you, just because every time I check in with you, it's like I'll have a certain perspective on things, and then I open up your line. I'm like, hey, so what's going on with you? And you end up having like some wild like take on it. And it's always great, and so then it always opens my eyes. So I'm always eager to hear like what you're thinking, what you're making of this whole situation. But yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like even with this, what you and I have even talked about with this, it's for everybody. It's an unknown time. When things are unknown, it's scary. But in the same time, there's opportunity. And not saying that anyone knows what that exact opportunity is, but to me, with something like this that has almost reset the world in a way that it's never been done. In so many ways, I feel like for the music industry, for entertainment, I mean, looking at movies putting their things straight to Amazon Prime and those kind of things where people can rent it, and just opening up that world, I feel like now more than ever, there's just bigger opportunities, and you're seeing where gaps are in education and all sorts of different things. So how can you now take what you do, and there is no right or wrong. And now, especially now, it's like I keep telling people, you can keep taking risks even more so. And if it doesn't work, everybody's going to chalk it up to the Rona right now anyways. Yeah. So it's like you literally have nothing but an upside to trying something new right now, because why not?
100%. And we've kind of talked about, and I've talked about previously on the podcast, how it's like you have way more time on your hands to use it however you'd like. And I think that we'll see some people take advantage of that. Some people maybe, duck out, which is totally fine, because like you said, I mean, I think that it can be a gift for some people that are always on the move 24/7, different flights, doing different things, traveling to do music, traveling for their jobs. And so now they have an opportunity to at least come back to center and feel grounded in what their reality is that they don't usually get to check in with,
Yeah, for sure. And also, like, there's some people that, I mean, being successful right now could just be getting through the day and just being all right with it. You know what I mean? So, and I think that's you and I have actually talked about this with music, and now it's even more so with life. But it's like, no matter what you do, you're going to miss out on something else. You write a record, you're going to miss, say in my case, like being a vocal coach, producer, writer, all of those things. It's like, if I'm writing a song, I'm missing vocal producing or vocal coaching something. If I'm vocal coaching or a song, I'm missing writing a song. If I'm producing a song, if I'm doing anything in music, I'm missing time with my family, unless that's time here. So everything is, no matter what you're doing, you are sacrificing something else. And when I think you start looking at that, it's more of just, I try and look at it, and no matter what I'm working on in that time, I just try and better myself in that time. So if I'm in family mode, how can I strengthen that relationship? If I'm in music mode or vocal coach mode, how can I be a better vocal, like in those moments? And if it's a time of I'm feeling down on myself, it's like, okay, how can I like get myself out of it and feel those feelings? So it's more of, people get hung up on, oh yeah, maybe I have to come up with the new $1 million idea. You don't, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's everybody's path is completely different. So I think it's just be productive in your own way, and whatever that is. And it doesn't have to be professionally. It can be. And I love to surround myself with successful people. And to me, successful people is not money.
Yeah.
It's success in aspects of their life. Some is family. Some are entrepreneurs. It just depends on what it is. So that's just my kind of take.
Totally. No, and it's super valuable. And especially how you said about how, success is really what you make of it. If it's how you see life, if it's your perspective, it's whatever it is. If you can gain some understanding that you believe is the way to go and way to feel complete and good about yourself, then I think that that's ultimately more important than financial success,
Yep, However, financial freedom is a beautiful thing.
I know.
It does make
does.
things a lot easier if you can achieve it.
For sure. So we DQ and I, we've met under like really interesting circumstances, just because it was when he was back out in LA, and it was like a couple years ago where I went into a session with him. I hadn't known DQ previously, and we were really working with somebody else, and that, you know, whatever. But then I met you, and I was like, you know, dude, I wasn't even like, I didn't even know that I was gonna work with you, but dude, this is the dude I want to work with right here. So then we emailed you afterwards, and I was so hyped when you replied. Like, straight up, it was like fan moment, like, damn, DQ just replied, this is so dope. So, and we obviously connected for many other for reasons with music and stuff, but one of the main reasons was, I think it was like either the second or third session with you, you had said, you were just like, dude, let's just get Indian food. And Mom was in the room, and we've both looked at each other like we just cracked it, like we just found something that was super, super special, like another person that appreciated Indian food the way we did. Because we were in the dark for so long, we couldn't see anybody that loved Indian food the way we did. So
I mean, Indian food, I just love food. I'm such a foodie. Man, and I think that's why we bonded too, because we got like family, me, my family, like we just, I mean, pretty much everyone I work with too, like, and we've worked with, we're all foodies in some sort.
Right.
Indian food, man. Woo!
Yeah.
And there's some jump off spots too, so yeah, man.
For sure. But yeah, the Indian food made a great connection.
Bro, the cheese naan. That was it.
But yeah, well, is it cheese naan or is it garlic naan for you? Which one hits more?
See, it depends though. I'm a cheese naan guy, I think. Maybe not now because I haven't been doing dairy, so probably not. I probably just the garlic naan. But yo, cheese naan.
I'm probably more of a garlic naan type of dude, type of character, to be honest with you. But yeah, dude, so we met kind of through somebody else, and we connected really over food. But how has, you know, obviously with the whole outbreak and all that, dude, I've been gaining pounds like it's nobody's business, my guy. I've been writing records and gaining pounds, dude. So
look, wisdom and gaining pounds.
So look, man, I don't know what you're doing. You look good, because legit, the last time I saw you, you were killing it, and you were doing like intermittent fasting, and I've tried that, and that's kind of what I'm doing right now. But dude, what are you doing to try and combat this freaking corona bot?
Same thing. That's the one. I guess if I can say like my past life pre-corona, intermittent fasting I've been doing for now little over or about a year, I guess. I'm down maybe like 45 pounds in a year or so, which is pretty cool. And
great.
I've been active from walking and stuff, but that's over these 2 months of quarantining and social distancing. I was even telling my wife Diana, like, that's the one constant that I can keep. Everything else is schedules for the family, schedules for myself, all of that. But my eating schedule, at least, is the one thing. So if there's anything I've been able to keep up with for any of this, that's the one thing. And what it's allowed me to do, at least for me and my body, and what has worked is I've been able to still eat what I want and be a foodie. I just do it within a certain time.
Right. And that's what's good.
And my girls sometimes like breakfast for dinner, so I get if I need my omelet and pancakes every once in a while, we'll have it on a Friday night.
There you go. But dude, so we kind of talked about how, you know, I met you when you were living in LA. Now you're in Nashville. I knew you throughout that move, and I've known you on pretty much both sides, on when you were in LA, and then at the tail end of that, and then now when you were freshly in Nashville. Now you're kind of like you feel good in Nashville. So I want to know, what do you prefer? Like, because the deal is like, I know that it's different, you know, kind of, you're a very family centric person. It's super different now than when you were in LA and things like that. So what are aspects that you would say you would like enjoy in one place, don't in the other? Like, what is your outlook on the difference?
So the difference is, I mean, for right now where I'm in my life, Nashville is perfect in where I want to be. But for where I was building my career and all of that, California, LA, the energy of it, the nonstop sessions, which is just as inspiring as it can be exhausting. I mean, the one biggest thing I miss, period, I mean, is just the food. Come on now, because I'm a foodie. What can I say?
I know.
But no, outside of the food, the pros and cons of both. Like, you know, what I love about Nashville and here, it's very songwriter, like, driven and very storytelling. But in which I feel like I've always been with co-writers and different things, to where LA and the pop world was very it was structured, but vibe and structure and different things. So, but in having that competitive energy in LA with so many people doing it, there is a benefit of having to compete with everyone else that makes you be better and ups your level.
Right.
So I do think that's something very important about LA, like places that are heavy in top 40 pop or whatever style it is, like whether you live there or you don't, you definitely want to spend time there, because that'll give you the inspiration that you need. To where, like, here, I want to be more talking about education and all that stuff. Like, I want to help develop songwriters and artists and the next generation more. And especially with, like, top 40, it works out that I'm a family man and doing all of that now. But there's such a young energy here of that. And it's a lot of kids and professionals that just don't have mentorship. It's not that they don't have or the skills or any of that. It's just they don't have the mentorship and somebody to be able to be like, hey, man, so you got to work on your transition here. You should strip out some sounds here, make way for the vocal, you know, instead of boosting an EQ, duck an EQ, just different things that people don't mind sharing that are what we've learned along the way. So I think those are some of the pros of both sides. You know, pros of being here and you're a pop guy and killing it is big fish in a little pond. But do you grow as much if you were to be up against, say, you have 3 people that are on your level here, but you might have 50 people on your level there.
Right.
And, you know, there is a balance of sticking out and also having to, like, come for it and make yourself known, you know?
For sure. And I think that what I admire probably the most about Nashville that I've noticed from my time there is I really love the people that are there. Obviously, I just think it's really an interesting contrast from LA, and I'm not trying to knock LA whatsoever because I've had amazing contacts and people there as well. I just feel like for me, it's more when you go to LA, there's a lot of different industries at the same time. You have music, you have movies, you have TV shows, you have this or that. Whereas with Nashville, it's a little bit more focused. You have families where it's fairly typical for either a mom or a dad to be a songwriter or have, you know, relatives or grandparents that were songwriters. And that's just, it's cool. That's cooler to me just because you can meet these people and be like, oh yeah, my grandpa, he wrote da-da-da. And it's like, that's just cool to me. And I like that it's kind of laser focused on the songwriting aspect of it. But that competitive nature of LA, I've been fortunate to kind of feel that a little bit, feel the heat when it's on, like, especially when people are like, hey, so I need something back in the next 24 hours. And it's like, you got to cut it in the hotel room and things like that. It's like things like that. I see how that could really stress people out and put people's brain on the grinder and like really not want to stay there for a long time. But it is stimulating and exciting at certain points in people's lives. So I totally get the contrast there. But, I mean, dude, Nashville's dope, and I love how it can also be, for somebody in my position, you can see it almost as like a stepping stone because it's an outpost in somewhat of an East Coast region where you're able to get there a little bit easier than LA. So I think that that's why a lot of that young talent, not saying that there's not young talent in LA, there very much is, but a lot of you're going to maybe find a little bit more, you know, diamonds in the rough on the East Coast that are going to Nashville to try and get some sort of connections with people in the industry. Right. So I love it. I love Nashville, and I don't think that the food sucks there either, to be honest with you, dude.
Oh no, the food here is amazing too. It's just more of the at 11 o'clock at night, I want Indian food. I can still get it.
Yeah, I feel
Not that I'm eating at 11 o'clock at night anymore, but you know what I'm saying. And that when I wanted to.
Yeah, I feel that. So, so we kind of, I really like kind of diving into the family life as a musician, just because I feel like when I see you, it's like, dude, you have a family, you're still songwriting, still doing what you love, and it's like really inspiring for me. So I know that your kids, like you've talked to me about how your kids are somewhat like musical, how they're kind of interested, one maybe more so than the other. But right. What is that like? Like, I know you said you're pulling them into the studio if they want to go in there. Like, how is this? What is the development there, dude?
Oh man, right now they're developing me, I guess. No, it starts off with, I mean, they love seeing Mr. Alex in the studio. So, you know, I was a big advocate of working outside of this, like having a studio outside of the house and separating like work and home. But now with having kids and being here, I didn't want to force it on them, but I wanted what I do to be a part of their life. And if they show interest, naturally kind of just let them go. So having Mr. Alex here and having friends here, it turns into they'll come home from school and they're like, oh my gosh, let me go up to the studio. So it's really started with that, just introducing it to them and letting them tinker around. And now it's turned into Layla and I have written a song together, and she, no joke, this morning said she told her teacher about it and wants to send it to her teacher. So now we have to record it this weekend. You know, so it's right now it's just we do a lot of sing-alongs. They love watching sing-alongs and literally singing along, and right now I'm just kind of following their interest and kind of feeding into it, and it's helping me. They're playing with piano. I'm not very good at piano. I can play basic chords, so it's helping me get better as well.
Right.
And, literally just if I have to work, they understand that I have to work, but most of the time when they come up here and it's their time, it's for us to explore. They want to grab this little thing over here, little guitar leg.
There you go.
You know what I mean? They'll grab that and they'll grab a bigger guitar for me to hold on to. I'll hold chords, they strum. So right now it's just super exploratory, and whatever they want. They have some instruments they'll bring in, some drums, and bang around. So they're songwriters now. They don't like me to sing along with them sometimes, especially if it's Elsa or somebody, a princess singing. I'm not one of them and I can't sing. But are
they really tough with publishing splits? Like, do they got to get you off your records, dude? Like, are they trying to get their own publishing and all that?
Oh
like,
yeah, they don't want me. You know, they're like, Dad, get out the room. Get out the room. Set me up with a mic. Set me up with a mic. Set me up with Pro Tools, and let's go. No, but you know, they love grabbing the SM7, and I'll just pull it down. They can stand up and sing, and we'll have the speakers on. Layla loves actually using my actual mic and sitting up on the stool and adjusting it and feeling like a superstar. So that's really where it is right now, and I just kind of record little snippets because both of them are writing new lyrics to melodies they know, and it's just really great watching them work. I'm kind of just
let them go.
Yeah, exactly. Like, man, I don't know if I was like that as a kid, but man, they're definitely they're gonna be beasts.
They're just popping off, dude. They get into there, they drop a quick 16. They're just like, dude, Dad, get out the room.
Oh no, exactly. They don't even want to do more than one take. They're one take jakes. They're like, oh, I got that, yo.
The day you ask them for like a harmony take or like a double, they're gonna be like, why do I need?
I know, like it's just on it. Right.
So DQ, who are you right now? Like, now that you're in quarantine, I imagine, I don't know when you really like to listen to or process music, but I don't know if it's in the car or wherever, but like, what are you listening to right now on your own time?
Ooh, what am I listening to right now on my own time? Let me just pull up my iTunes and Spotify.
There you go.
Recent. Let's see what we got here.
Because I've been struggling, my guy.
Pooh Corner, Kenny Loggins, but that's putting girls to bed. let me get through
the daddy playlist, bro.
You know, the Paw Patrol theme song.
That's where it's at, though, bro.
You know what? I tend to go back and listen to a lot of just records I love in general. So I kind of went back and been listening to Voodoo D'Angelo. I went back and listened to like some older Brandy records. I'm a huge Her fan, so just using the time to study and listen to. She does some of my favorite riffs that are tasteful and everything else. So really big on her. Just really kind of going back and visiting. I don't, as far as like brand new, I mean, I really love the Bieber Ariana going little R&B and just being not different for them, but different, not what I expected them to do together.
Right.
You know, and for the cause is good and stuff like that. So, you know, I've been definitely digging into some girl named Anna who been a big part who you know of and worked with stuff like that. Just getting her stuff rolling and excited to just see new artists, and it's a new time, and just see songs coming out in the world. Let's see, who else do I have here in my list? Oh, I was definitely on some Lionel Richie.
There you go.
Being old school. And Trolls World Tour has been on repeat in my house. But I can't lie, like I actually really like the soundtrack too, even though they flip. Like it's a good flip of variety. It's not just pop, a little rock, a little bit of this. So, you know.
There you go.
Sorry if it's not more exciting.
Dude, it's fine. My list is rough right now. I'm telling you, dude. My list right now, I've been trying to get into, like, I used to be into, like, when I was in high school, which is ironic because this was a year ago, I was like really into rap and stuff and still into it, but like right now I feel like the more I listen to it, I don't understand what I liked as much before, because it's just the magic has worn off for me in that, for like,
because there's no parties right now.
I think that's honestly, that may be a part of it, just because you don't see cool music videos and you don't see cool like stuff with it that like is attached to the music, that, and it's like, I don't know, it's just not as attractive to me. So rap is like, there's a lot of it right now and I'm not crazy about it, but like, you know, I've been listening to, I mean, a lot more like alternative stuff. I've been listening to the new 1975 and, you know, there's new stuff out, but it's just like, it doesn't hit the same when you can't, for me, I've noticed that it doesn't hit the same when I can't implement it into like a routine. So like before, the way I would digest music is I would listen to it in the car on the way to school or on the way home from school. And, you know, it's like, that was like my listening time. That was like, okay, I'm looking forward to hearing whatever take people have on a certain style of a record. I'm going to dive into it and listen to it on my own time. And then, you know, maybe I'll listen to it later when I'm in the studio or whatever. But like now that that's not a part of my life of driving or going places, it doesn't hold as much like special, like I don't know why, it's just weird to me. I don't know.
No, but that's true. Like you forget how much music is a soundtrack to life,
right?
But also vice versa. Like you need visuals, like all of these things. Like a great song is a great song, but you still need all of there's so many other pieces. The reason going to a concert, you know, has its thing, and you don't care if somebody's pitchy or not, because you have everything else as a part of it. Like there's all of those things. So, you know, yeah, people not driving definitely cuts that. I've been more on podcasts than actual like music, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting now that everyone's starting to turn back up. Like it definitely was an influx on TV shows and all of that, but I feel like then people are going to finally run out of things to watch too. So then they're going to go back to music. It's going to go back and forth. There was like a really interesting, just because I'm in that land, I'm in Daggy land, but Disney did like a Zenimation or something like that, where they literally show scenes of their movies, and it's like, this is a water theme or whatever, but it doesn't have the music, but it has all of the sound effects.
Oh, wow.
And it's really weird because it's very zenful because there's no music, but you don't even realize those sound effects were in it. And it's like those things make the movie versus like just listening to the song on the soundtrack itself. Like
Right.
it does give you a different feel, and you don't realize just watching those things kind of be taken away and put back just on some randomness.
Totally. And I think that the live show thing brings up a good point, because I mean, I remember hearing records, you know, just when they would release. Even like, you know, recently, if I hear a record that releases, I may think it's like, okay, it's cool, whatever. But just that live element of when I go see the person that wrote the song and they're singing it at the top of their lungs and it's like really means something for them, to me, that adds more magic that will then reside in that record later on when I listen to it whenever. And I always remember that. And so I think that being stripped away, and also, I mean, look, music videos are still very important, and I know that it's like kind of weird because I think that some people would argue, no, it's not as necessarily about that, it's more fast food, like people just need music right here right now and that's it. I think that they still hold a purpose, because I remember like growing up sitting on my dad's lap watching music videos on the promo only DVDs like it was yesterday. Like that was our thing. We would sit and watch those and I would be so hyped, and it wouldn't even really, like, it was about the music, but it was more so about how things were portrayed and how the songs were actually shown, and that's kind of what's cool. So that being kind of taken away from it, I mean, look, I'm a part of it as well, because I mean, we're still making videos and we're in our house and all that, but I think that I do miss like real music videos in a sense. Like I kind of miss that, you know?
Well, and that collaborative, I think that's the part. You can still collaborate over Zoom and over FaceTime. Like, technology is great, but as weird as it is, like even a video, like having a director or having those things, like that's another creative artistic eyeball on it.
Right.
You can get in, and I even think about the creativeness of in a studio. You know, it's a lot easier you and I could probably write a song much easier this way, because we have a rapport, a relationship, and know each other. But those things that are missed of, I mean, I'm sitting here moving my legs because I can't ever sit still, but like those are things that somebody would catch in a room that you can't see this way on somebody you just meet or somebody you don't know. You're like, yo, you do this naturally. Let me change how I'm doing this to fit you. Like,
right.
Those kind of things are missed in this world right now, that you do need some of that in person, because it's the nonverbal cues of creativity that you catch.
And I think that, and it's interesting because we had a mentalist on the podcast before, and he was pointing out certain like micro behaviors that you do, and he was doing it while I was sitting here, and he's like, I mean, look, I'm reading these different things right now. I'm doing a bunch of like little math equations in my head to figure out where your brain is at and this or that. And I thought it was BS before I got on the stream, but then he started guessing random numbers that I was thinking, dude, and it was crazy. But the thing is like he really does read those aspects of conversation, of interaction. And so I think that, you know, like we're all looking at those without even noticing it, and we're just kind of mirroring and weaving in and out of conversation with those in mind. So to have those kind of stripped away from us in those interactions, it definitely affects things. And even in the small little delay that you have over FaceTime or whatever, it's like, dude, it is not as personal. It's definitely weirder to cut through. You have to kind of do a little bit more effort on each party's end to make sure that it's known between the two that, like, dude, I'm really talking to you. I'm really being authentic. This is really what I feel, as opposed to, you know, through a text or through, you know, a video or whatever it is. It's tougher to cut through, and it's tougher to get people's brains to believe in it. And I think that that's definitely part of it. But I mean, it is what it is. We're living through it, and I think we're all doing a pretty decent job. And I think it's also showing that, you know, maybe things could be in an email, if that makes sense. Like,
no, there's a lot of things that it's showing what is necessary, what's not. People, everyday jobs, right? Like how in jobs that have figured out how to work remotely, how do you convince them to come back to an office when they've proven they can be just as productive, if not more, outside of the office?
Right.
Nothing right or wrong, to each his own. But just like, those are things to look at. Like, to your point, this could be in an email. This doesn't have to be this way. Or that, like, there's so many things I feel like are being exposed of what's necessary and what's not.
For sure. So I'm coming in next week. This is the first time that I've come to Nashville in a little minute just because of the whole shutdown and all that. But I did kind of want to talk about what our routine is because we've kind of gotten it down to a science, my guy. We've done this so many times, whether it was in LA or in Nashville. And basically, for the people that don't know, when you see me post it up in Nashville, it's usually with this guy, with this Yoda. And the deal is that we have a great time. I come in. We write and we bank a bunch of ideas, pick some ones that we want to work on, things like that. Have a lot of different deep conversations as well, whether that be over food, around food, or about food.
Or about food. About food.
Exactly. So, look, man, we always have a good time. And the other thing that happens usually when I'm in town is my mom connects with your wife, and they seem to go on a tear throughout Nashville. They make it their own town. They rock it. And they're doing that simultaneously while we don't even know it. And then we connect with them at the end of the day, and they tell us all of their stories about everything that went down. And we didn't even know that those things existed in Nashville. And so, yeah, man. But
isn't that any city we go to? We just go to the studios and that's it?
Yeah, right.
Diana still tells me where to go around here. She's like, you've lived here as long as I have. I was like, yeah, but I don't go anywhere.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, I always tell people, like, when I'm going to Nashville, they'll be like, dude, you're going to Nashville. It's so awesome. I just want to go. I got to go with you. And I'm like, dude, to be honest with you, like, I think it's fun because I'm doing work and I enjoy it. But, like, I'm not the tour guide for you to be, because I'm going to bring you to two places, and it's going to be a hotel and then the studio, and that's it. So, and the food, wherever the food is. So that's
I have my book.
Oh, shoot. You dropping more knowledge on me, dude?
I'm about to drop one. I'm trying some new stuff, right?
Let's go. Okay. Little composition vibe.
100-page composition book, right?
Yep.
Are you a righty or lefty?
Righty.
Okay, me too, right?
Yep.
200 Days of Gratitude, 100 pages book, right? I'm going to write on the front of each one. And then when it's done, flip it right back on the 100. All with my left hand.
Oh, okay.
200 days. And I'm going to force myself, because it's causing my intention. Like, me writing with my right hand, I can do without thinking. Even though writing down still has things. So I'm challenging myself with this for the next 200 days. Every day writing things I'm grateful for today, for yesterday, lessons, quotes, different things. And I'm forcing myself to do everything left-handed. And the reason I'm doing it the way I'm doing it is because at the end of the 200 days, on the front page, I'll have my first day of writing left-handed.
Yep.
And on the back of it, I'll have my last day of writing left-handed.
Amazing.
See the progress and see that.
Look at that, dude.
That's my new hobby right now. Also self-improvement. But one of those things I think even more than ever now, I've been trying to tell a lot of artists, and I don't know how you feel about this, but we've talked about it in length some. But growing up, music is the hobby because you want it to be the gig. You know what I mean? And it's like once music actually starts becoming the gig, you need to find a hobby.
Yeah.
So that you don't drive yourself nuts. So it's like and it can be learning something, it could be video games, to each his own, just something else that has nothing to do with now what your professional life is, which used to be your hobby. So this is now one of the things that I've been starting to do, to just do something other than, is find different things to just challenge myself, just to be weird.
For sure.
Just sharing a little thing.
It's a good call. And I know that, like, for me, like, dude, music still holds a lot of magic for me, just because it's like there's avenues I haven't explored yet still. And I think that I'm still, like, writing and developing as a person and as an artist. And I think that there's a lot of things that I still need to learn and stuff. But I mean, I think that keeping that magic alive, whether that be through, because, like, dude, I could go down a wormhole of learning how to build out synths and learning how to, there's so many different things that I don't even really know, that I've kind of skimmed over. I've done, like, the Cliff Notes version of to get the sound. But, like, if I really wanted to dive deep, which I have been, it's like those are valuable, assets to kind of look into. But I mean, dude, as far as my hobby, bro, I've been trying to play golf again, like trying to get back into that. But I mean, look, dude, I've been playing video games and stuff, But dude, the Amazon purchases right now are crazy, dude. That's what I'm saying. And I know you're a big like random purchase dude, because the last time I came into the studio is a perfect example of that, because I came in and you had like, it was this random bag of like toys that were basically for adults.
Yep.
And it was like, you had snowballs that were indoor snowballs. You had, yeah, there you go. And then the one day you had the things where the stretchy things.
Oh yeah, yep. The silly string joints.
Yep. So you always are keeping it fresh whenever I come in there, and then you convince me to buy something that I haven't bought yet. So what's been the most recent purchase, dude?
Kind of like this. Looks like I'm literally throwing snowballs at you. My most recent purchase has been.
There you go. Right there.
Because since we couldn't go get massages,
I know.
Why not try and help ourselves out? And you know what? Probably one of my favorite purchases. So that's a new random purchase, but it's kind of amazing.
I feel like that's the perfect quote for it. Like, dude, you know what you need? You need like a little like site of like a blog of all these things, and then the tagline needs to be, "It's a little random, but it's pretty amazing." Is that what the
That's the name of the site.
Yeah, it's a little random, but it's pretty amazing.
I love it, man.
But yeah, man, thank you so much for hopping on here. It's been super. Obviously, this is like super easy for us to do just because we do this normally. So I appreciate
Literally,
it.
this is us.
This is us. Yeah, this is next week, except insert like us singing about girls that don't exist. That's what it is.
Yeah, I like it. We gotta have the world open up. We need to find random sounds out in the world that happen. Be like, ooh, that'd be a cool sound.
I know. Like, just keep the SF7. Just strap. I need a holster for my SF7, my guy.
Yo, be like, is he on the TV crew? Nah.
They're gonna think we're recording like some show, but we're really just trying to get that door hinge sound, dude.
They gotta figure out. There's gotta be some way to do like a mic cable to a
iPhone,
to the bottom of your iPhone, and then you could just literally walk around and plug it in. And
I think that's possible.
Run Garage, because you can run GarageBand.
I bet that's a thing. I'm telling you right now.
It's a wrap.
You'll have it ordered on Amazon like in the next 24 hours. You're gonna hit me with. You're gonna hit me
when
with.
You get here, I'll have a list of things and I'll have all the links ready, and I'll just shoot it to you.
That's what you really gotta do any of these times, because the last time that happened, I mean, one of the purchases was like a Nintendo Switch. One of them was like the case, this, that. Then there was you actually got me to buy my MacBook too, and dude, I mean, look,
but that was needed.
It was. You're both the most positive influence on me, but then you're the most negative influence on me for my bank account.
I know, I'm sorry,
but I mean, it's all worth it though. That's the thing. You're usually coming through with some heat, so
that thing, I appreciate that. At least it's not like a buyer's remorse situation.
Right. No, every time I'm usually texting you like the next day, like, dude, it just came in the mail. It's so dope.
And if you wait too long, then you'll hit me and be like, bro, I can't believe I waited so long. So
exactly. So now you just need to start sending me lists of things. Just hit me with the links and just say, hey, these are kind of random, but they're pretty amazing.
Pretty amazing.
Well, dude, thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon. Again, thank you for hopping on tonight. To the people that don't know, I totally messed up, and I was like, this dude's coming on Thursday. I texted him, and he's like, I called him 15 minutes before the show, and he's like, hey, I thought you said Thursday, but the dude was quick on his toes, and he kept it rolling, so I appreciate it. He got on the rope quick.
Yo, my guy, do what you gotta do.
There we go. Well, my man, thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon, and I'll see you in Nashville, my guy.
All right, man. Be safe, man.
Deuces, man. Stay safe.
Peace.
Dude, DQ, that's the big homie right there. That's my man's. Known him for a while now. I would not be where I'm at, no pun intended, without that guy right there, because honestly, man, he took me from being just a kid rolling into LA with a laptop and some dance lessons from Chris Brown's choreographer and a dream of wanting to write my own songs and feel great about them. And you know what? He made that happen. He made that happen, you know? And, you know, I say a kid with a laptop, like, I'm saying that in the same tone as LeBron saying I'm just a kid from Akron, dude. This is a different story, way different situations, but same energy, to be honest with you. But, dude, yeah, DQ, shout out to him for having it. Like, thank you for coming on the podcast. It's so fun to have these people on because I kind of realized that having these people on the podcast can somewhat show a little bit more and open the curtain a little bit more on what I do and what I love to do, because I think that it's easy to kind of brush over it just because when you're doing certain things, like whether you're an artist or whatever it is, if you love them and it's like second nature to you, it can become quite easy to brush over it for the people that are just listening, and you think you're talking about it, but you're really not. You're just, because you've auto-corrected yourself and filled in the blanks for what you think you're saying of, oh yeah, I'm a songwriter, this or that, and there's actually a lot more that goes into that. So I think that it's important to kind of shed back those layers, and that's what I enjoy about bringing different people onto the podcast like that. And so, and you know, it goes with pretty much anybody. If you have those people, I follow a lot of podcasts where they bring in people that talk about passionate things that they enjoy, and I think that that's important to show those different interests and showcase the receipts of your brain. I think that that's really cool. So these are the people that, you know, these are characters in my life that I've loved, I've worked with, and I continue to work with today, and that have shaped me as a human being and as an artist. And I think that it's important to show you guys kind of the roadmap of how that's happened, because at the end of the day, you guys hear a song for 3 minutes and 30 seconds, or you see a video or whatever it is, and you don't necessarily get to see all the times that it didn't work out, all the times that, you know, I worked with people and, you know, that built up to that moment. So I'm appreciative of having DQ on the podcast as with other people that have come on the podcast, and so I look forward to seeing who will come on here next. We're scheduling out different dates for different guests and things like that. And so you guys, you know, liking and commenting and doing all that is obviously crucial and shows that you guys want to listen to it and you want to see it. And so I'm appreciative of that. And with all that being said, I'm going to head out of here. I'm going to go make myself a protein shake. And look, guys, it's been real. I will see you soon. I'm not going to let it go as long as it's been going. I'm going to keep it rolling. And, yeah, guys, we got new music tomorrow night. So, to be honest, that's pretty deserving of it.
This kid has the moves and the soul.
You a little boy to me. I'll kiss you on your forehead. You a little boy.
Okay.
So, look, new music tomorrow night. We got a new video dropping as well. And there's a cameo in it that if you're a longtime fan, you're going to know who it is. And you know what? I think we're going to have her on the podcast eventually too, so. Dude, that was Robetalk. What? Oh, yeah, dude, we're going to talk about the hair as well. We are going to get to that as well, because the deal is, guys, stay tuned to my socials, because, look, we're making changes. We're making changes. I'll see you guys soon. It's been real. Episode 26 is a wrap. I'll see you guys later. Peace.